Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. With CBT-2 about 2 weeks out probably from being able to be played, I wanted to go ahead and make my top 5 CBT-1 to CBT-2 changes that I'm most interested in for the next beta test. So that way I can have them up and centered once it comes out and I can start making content related to some of the things that I'm seeing. But I wanted to preface the release of it with a top 5, and then we can add on to it once we've gotten more information and everything, the date that it's going to come out. But right now, I just wanted to go over these things, and we'll go through them one by one. They're in no particular order, but I just wanted to voice my concerns, my hopes, and ideas that I have that I think that would be great if they're implemented from what I've seen from the previous beta tests and the other game shows and everything like that. Anyways, jumping right into it, the first one on my list, and like I said, this is no order of importance, I'm just going through 5 of them. The first one is going to be the improvement to overall fluidness and likeliness of the characters. And what I mean by that is giving each character physically the way that they move, the voice lines that they have, the interactions that they have and stuff like that within the game, have them unique personalities. Wuthering Waves has a great opportunity to set itself apart on launch from any of these other action RPG style games like Genshin and everything else. Now, of course, Genshin is solidified in the way that it does things, so we're not challenging what they are today. It would be more challenging what they were on day one. And what they were on day one was amazing. They were something that filled the void in the gaming community, and they did everything near perfect from the start of the game up until wherever they fell off. I stopped playing because it just felt like the way that the gacha system worked was too predatory in my opinion. Yes, you can complete the whole game free to play in some aspects, but whatever. Off of the topic of Genshin, yeah, so I want to see the fluidness of movement, the updates and upgrades, and the way that their camera tracking works. I know they were talking about that in the dev interview, so I'm excited to see exactly what they were meaning and what they were talking about in correlations to that. And then overall, the combat, the fluidness of the combat, the way that characters transitions out of perfect dodges or whenever you're tagging a character back and forth in, the way that the animations work with the echoes and everything like that, on smaller mobs versus bigger bosses and stuff, is something that I'm interested in for like frame rate issues or anything like that. Once you have it on high settings, medium settings, anything like that. More of the technical side of it, I'd like to see improved or just built upon where they were before. And I know they have already from what they were talking about in the dev interview. I just want to see it live in action. All right, next up, let's talk about the ecosystem. I did some research on that more in depth today because I didn't really find any videos. If there's any, please someone let me know, like the name of the creator or anything down below. I'd love to watch them. I just didn't look too hard into that. I was looking more for like text-based so I can read it. I was finding a little bit of interesting stuff for the echoes, and I'm not sure if I like the way that it's set up because I haven't gotten to experience it yet, or if it sounded kind of clunky. But I'm going to go over what I learned, and if I'm incorrect, please correct me. By no means am I saying that I'm a god in this information, so please correct me if I'm wrong. But the echoes can be placed in 2 different slots. They have one that is called the tonic slot. The other is called a consonant slot. One of them will give you a main stat, like crit rate and substats are deactivated. And then another one gives you main stats where the substats are activated as well. So you're getting more of a bonus. Echoes have the ability to be combined together, allowing you to buff up the certain stats or skills and abilities that come with them. And to get better echoes, you have to be a higher, obviously, account level, which will give you, I believe it's called terminal level, will give you a higher chance of finding better ones with better stats. So with that being said, I do like the ability to catch multiple of the same one, fuse them together, or just random ones and everything like that, using materials to fuse them together. But my question is, what are we using to catch them? Is it going to be individual items? Can we just straight up catch any one and every single one that we want? How are we going to be locked behind being able to grind these out? Because what I'm thinking, like, if these are anything similar to way that like Pokemon work in a game, or Pals and Pal World and stuff like that, any game that has overworld mobs, that they're going to be respawning on a timer. And the better ones obviously will have longer timers. Are those timers going to be behind dungeons? Are they going to be behind item unlocks? Kind of like how Genshin has the system where you use the resonant or whatever it is, the item that allows you to unlock the little cube bosses and stuff like that, or the material bosses to farm them. So that's one thing that I'm kind of interested about. I do like the fact that you can combine them. That gives you extra like bonus stats and crit rate and everything. So basically like a set in any other RPG, the echoes will be used as that, along with the weapon that you're pulling for in the gacha system. So those are my thoughts and concerns on the ecosystem. I'd like to see a little bit more in CBT-2. Hopefully it goes a little bit more into detail than the first one did. From what I've found, if anyone has a good video, like I said before, please share the name of the video and or content creator so I can check it out. All right, number 3 is a big concern for me because, yeah, dude, y'all just straight up copy and pasted the UI. The UI is just freaking Genshin Impact all over again. That's literally what it is. Nah, in all seriousness, I know if something is not broke, you don't fix it. And the layout for this UI, I don't even think Genshin was the first one that did something like that. But they did it the best, I would say. It had the least amount of clutter from the launch of a game in a UI than I've seen in a big scale game like that than I've seen in a long time. So I'm hoping that they refine the UI that I saw from closed beta test 1 and just make it have less sub menus. I think that was the biggest thing that I saw. It looked like you were navigating so much through a freaking menu screen to get to what you wanted. It just seemed tiring, honestly. If they can make it cleaner, more fleshed out to where maybe we have like, I don't know, on PC you have like hotkeys that can obviously open up to certain areas and stuff like that. But for people who are opting to play with the controller, I wouldn't leave them out, just so you have both of them hit. That's my 2 cents on that. I think that people using controller and stuff like that will be something that kind of makes menu diving a little bit more difficult. At least it was for games like this in the past. So number 4, I'm going to talk about progression. And this is just from some people that I spoke to that have left comments, and some people I spoke to in the Discord servers and everything like that did get to enjoy CBT-1. Is one of the things that I love about gacha games is that you have a daily, weekly, and monthly routine. And progression is usually most important in a game within its first like 1 or 2 weeks, and then we're more just in a refining stage of like the characters and or events and quests and stuff that we're going to be doing. So something that I want to see from CBT-2 is a more clearer vision of what we're really going to be getting into. Like, what does a full daily kind of grind look like? What does a weekly grind look like? And what does a monthly grind look like for the game? Because to me, this is going to be the longevity of the game, along with cool characters coming out, along with quality of life changes and everything like that. Is like, when you play a gacha game, you know that you're going to spend a little bit of time each day doing what you need to do to maximize or minimize/maximize the progression that you're getting on your account with what they allow you to do without paying. If you can spend money and play a little bit longer, most gacha games have that opportunity. You can refresh stamina, whatever. Without the refreshing or without paying or any like extra gifts that we just got right off the bat, I want to see what we're going to be in for when it comes to a daily grind of this game, and not so much of the grind, just a daily play station of the game. Are we going to be able to play it for more than an hour? Is this a game that we can play for more than an hour? And once we've gone through all the content, once we leveled up and everything like that, are we still going to enjoy it 2 months from now, 3 months from now, when we're in a lull of content? Will the natural content that the game has be enough to give us the ability to play this as a main game? That's where I'm trying to get to. I'm sorry, I was going all around it in a circle. Finally, we got there. Yes. So is this game going to have us entertained long enough per day, per week, per month to be a main game for a gacha game? Because there's a lot of great gacha games that come out, and they're amazing in the honeymoon phase of the game, but then they just don't feel like they're ample enough to put the main game kind of energy into it. As for a free-to-play, a minnow, guppy, a dolphin, a whale, whatever, we're all going to have different experiences, obviously, when it comes to this. So I'm more thinking catering, obviously, to the free-to-play, because I would say that's the majority of people, or small, like baby guppies and stuff. You're just supporting the game because you like it. Great. But what is our playtime going to be? And in that playtime, what are we going to be doing? Do we have to just collect tons of materials to progress? Are we going to be able to get to explore and enjoy in our own way? Are we going to be forced into doing certain dungeons or bosses every day to farm the same thing over and over? Or will we have a little bit of variety throughout the week? So those are my biggest things that I'm looking for in progression. Story-wise and everything, obviously you go from quest to quest. The story's finished. You have side quests. You have event quests, blah, 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 blah. Same thing anywhere. You can't really reinvent the wheel. That's how story progression works. So last thing is going to be talking about the story, actually. From the CBT-1 and everything before, they have talked about rehashing or changing up 90% of the entire story and lore. So my most exciting or most anticipated thing that I'm waiting for is going to be the lore. I kind of got invested into what I read and learned about for the lore that they had before. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was kind of quirky. It didn't really make sense, but I liked it. So I'm hoping they just took what they had and refined it in a more intellectual, linear path of a story, rather than just a bunch of nonsense thrown together, hoping that it made sense for the average reader of a person, not realizing that it was absolute bullshit. So the story is something that I cannot wait for, and I hope to see more of it. I really hope that I get into this next closed beta test, but if not, I will be joining anyone's channel that has access to it, and I will be watching it step by step, because I would love to see what is coming out and what we are having in store. Anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in today. I hope everyone the best of luck with these new events and everything they popped out for us to get more chances at the closed beta 2. If you got in, please leave a comment down below. I'd love to see everyone in the community getting into this that really wants to. If you have any other ideas or ways to sneak one into the beta, let me know. I'd love to know. I'd love to get in, like I said. But anyways, guys, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you on the next video.